Hey, this is Steven Platinum, your friend in Wrestling with Platinum versus NXT from May 11th, 2021. What can I say? They're becoming really good. Not only has NXT consistently done great show after great show, they're finding ways to get attention, and they're finding ways to look like they're having fun, and they've put together this really great clique around Swerve. I love it. That's why I picked that picture. I think they're doing really good stuff here. The spot with the referee that's getting a lot of attention. Again, it's putting eyes on NXT. And NXT has got to fight this fight and get the attention, and I'm all about it. So we open with a match right away. AEW! Sorry, I was just watching the Acclaimed. So yeah, that influence is not a bad thing. NXT is the show that's willing to go, what is AEW doing that's working? We're going to do it too, and I think it's smart. We open with the non-title match between Karrion Kross and Austin Theory because it is a foregone conclusion match. And I think it's a smart match, and I think it's a good match to open with. Yeah, so we got this non-title opener. The match happens as you would expect it would. Got that straightjacket submission. Theory taps out. Kross keeps his eyes on Gargano. Smart stuff. He's got his NXT title. Scarlett joins him. He stares Gargano down. Finn Balor suddenly appears next to Kross in the ring. Fans cheer them on. Balor's tired of waiting. He wants his rematch. Kross wants that too. He says, let's do this. They face off in the middle of the ring, but Balor makes his exit, staring Kross down. A little bit of gamesmanship. I like it. Cruiserweight champion Kushida's arriving. He's got to have the 2 out of 3 falls match, which is our main event against Santos Escobar, which is really cool. I think that it's becoming kind of a signature of NXT, the 2 out of 3 falls match, which is great. We see NXT Women's Champion Raquel Gonzalez arriving with Dakota Kai. She's going to face Mercedes Martinez later on. So those are our 2 title matches. See how they did that in just one little segment? They promoted the 2 big matches they have without taking time to do it. I love it. Leon Ruff's confronting William Regal in his office. He wanted to compete tonight, but Regal refused to book him because of the beating he took in the Falls Count Anywhere match to Swerve Scott, which makes sense. Ruff yells at Regal and knocks some things off his desk. Regal doesn't change his mind. Ruff storms off. It puts Ruff over as a tough guy who wants to have another fight. It puts Regal over as a guy who's going to stand his ground as an authority figure. We all win. MSK against Breezango. That's where we have that crazy spot with the referee. A lot of fun. Finding ways to make a foregone conclusion match more interesting. At the end of the day, MSK wins, of course, as they should. They shake hands, though, afterwards, but then MSK talks trash in the camera, warning the rest of the tag team division. Gargano storms into William Regal's office and says he's not happy about defending against Bronson Reed last week. Regal isn't he says he's not changing his mind. He wishes Gargano good luck. So he's going to defend against him next week. Right, sorry. We see Lorshan and Dunn walking backstage. Back to commercial. Hate that spot. Back from the break, we see Mercedes Martinez warming up in the back. I would have just shown that going into commercial. I know, not that big of a deal, but I worry about these things. They hype TakeOver In Your House 2021. It's going to be June 13th, so in about a month. And with Todd Pettengill as the host, which gets a pop out of me. Everrise is sitting behind the announcers holding a sign to promote their live social media show that airs on the weekends. Beth declares how much of a fan of Everrise she is. It's great. The commentators on NXT do a very good job, by the way. Pete Dunne is now in the ring with Orshan. They talk about how NXT champ Karrion Kross has chosen Finn Balor but doesn't blame him because we all know Dunne is the toughest possible opponent, basically. Suddenly, Leon Ruff attacks from the side. Whoa. Because Dunne issues an open challenge. And Leon Ruff, again, this segues nicely into the thing that we had before, right? Leon Ruff is like, oh, you're not going to let me wrestle? Well, I'm going to take it upon myself to wrestle somebody. They brawl. Dunne goes to the floor to regroup. Great stuff. So now we're going to have, formally, Peter Dunne against Leon Ruff. Pete Dunne wins. He makes referee stops the match because Ruff is caught in a submission and just being unloaded on with elbow strikes. Dunne stands tall. The fans boo. The referees check on Ruff while Dunne stands tall over him. Dunne grabs Ruff's fingers and snaps them back again as the boos get louder. Dang. Ruff is yelling out in pain. Wow, brutal, brutal stuff. Really putting Dunne over, really making Ruff look tough. Good stuff all around. Legado del Fantasma is backstage now. Escobar sends a warning to Kushida and promises to be a two-time Cruiserweight champion after tonight. And then we segue to the other title match. Raquel Gonzalez is backstage warming up as Dakota Kai hypes her up. Raquel grabs her title and they walk off. We go to commercial. Back from the break, we get a vignette of Frankie Monet. Her world premiere debut will take place in 2 weeks. Finn Balor versus Karrion Kross is also announced for 2 weeks from now. We're promoting shows 2 weeks in advance. You see what we're doing? I love it. Now we have the NXT Women's title match. It's very good between Martinez and Gonzalez. They really make Martinez shine here and tease that she's going to win, but Raquel Gonzalez manages to win at the end. And they really put over that finisher, that one-arm powerbomb thing that she does. Kai joins Gonzalez, and they get kind of mixed reactions from the crowd, which is interesting. Martinez, of course, gives you everything, and she's still selling that move. AJ Francis, Ashante, Brianna Brandy, and Swerve Scott, they arrive at the parking lot. They knock the cameraman down and taunt him, and we go to commercial. This is acceptable to me because we're going to segue into something pretty cool. Back from the break, we see the officials and security pushing the ways Johnny Gargano and Austin Theory out of the locker room. And the cameraman enters, and we're helping Bronson Reed up from the ground. Apparently, he was attacked by Gargano and Theory. Reed says Gargano's a dead man. Because they already had like kind of a beatdown brawl, this was a very clever way to convey the fact that another one happened without just showing us the beatdown. Very fucking clever. I love it. I'm telling you, folks, if you're a booker or a wrestling person, you need to watch NXT and see how they're kind of getting around things in a very clever way. I see you. I love it. Back from the break, we see officials and looking at my notes. We go back to the ring, and out comes Swerve Scott by himself. He says NXT's about to get real spooky. The lights go out and come back on as the music hits, and here comes his crew. And then they just do a great fucking promo. All of them working together. They hype each other up. They put each other over. They do a little rap. I just think it's just one of the best debuts they've had. As this crew, I just think it's just stellar. Go and look at it. They have this great bit with Cameron Grimes bidding on this house, and he gets outbid by the $1 Million Man. It's fucking funny. I love these bits. I think it really adds to the show. It's the best comedy stuff happening on any of the WWE televisions. It's great. It's fucking great. Back from the break, we get a video package for the feud between Zoe Stark and Toni Storm. Stark promises to get the win next week, and so we're promoting next week. Love it. We get Lorshan against Kyle O'Reilly. Of course, Kyle O'Reilly wins, but it's a brutal match. And after the match, Dunn immediately enters the ring and attacks O'Reilly. And then Bobby Fish shows up. Great moment. And then I love that they, instead of cutting a promo, they just had a verbal exchange between Fish and O'Reilly that you could hear and make out, where it's just like, I did this, it's going to be back. You're doing your own thing. I have my own scores to settle, but they're still cool with each other. Great segment, great bit. I loved it. Video package of the way. Mainly new NXT Women's Tag Champions Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell, who won the title last week. Go to a backstage promo from Reed, who's furious. And he's tired of him. Reed says he met with Mr. Regal, and now he has what he wants. Next week's North American title match will take place inside a steel cage. Great stuff. God, it's so good. 2 out of 3 falls match is really great. You can tell that time was a bit of an issue, and they didn't want to do important stuff during commercial breaks. So they had to rush the second fall a little bit, it felt like. But the match is really good. Kushida wins. Really good showing and a great fucking NXT show. What can I say?